Multiplayer first-person shooters. What can you say that hasn't been said before? They have dominated the gaming industry as one of the most, if not the most popular game genres for almost 20 years now. Not to say they weren't popular before then. GoldenEye was an FPS staple back in the 90s, but to play with other people, they had to physically be in the room with you. As soon as technology evolved to the point that you start shooting your friends who lived across the road from you, to the other side of the city as you, to the opposite side of the country as you, to shooting complete randoms you've never met and will never meet again, it was always going to be a winning combo. Now, I think I started playing online first-person shooters with Halo 3 all the way back in 2008 when I got my first Xbox 360. And back then there were two big titles dominating the market, on console anyway. If you wanted a shooter where you could customize your loadout to your playstyle with tight, fast-paced gameplay, you had Call of Duty. If you wanted a bigger, more tactical game with emphasis on destruction and vehicle play, well, you went Battlefield. And let me tell you, both of the fan bases absolutely hated each other. Fast forward to the present, and now we have hundreds of game companies trying to capitalize on the multiplayer first-person shooter genre. And we've expanded far into subgenres. Strategy, class-based strategy, extraction. I could be here for hours. My point is, there's almost something to cater for everyone. And while many have come to try and capture an audience and make it big, many just haven't been able to make it. So today we're going to be looking at two newcomers to the scene who recently just had betas over the last week. The Finals and XDefiant. Two games that are a little reminiscent of those big 2008 behemoths. I'm going to review them and see if they have what it takes to wedge themselves into the packed lineup of multiplayer first-person shooters of today, and is it enough for them to stick around? So the Finals has just wrapped up its second closed beta test, and I'm really liking how this game is starting to shape up. That comes with a couple asterisks, but we'll get to that later. For now, I'll say if you have not played this game yet, you definitely should when you get the chance. I don't know how, but the Finals just seems so fresh despite not doing really anything new. Damn, the destruction in this game is so good. It's almost unreal, honestly. The current game mode is simple enough to learn. The gunplay feels decent, even on my high Australian latency. The game feels pretty well balanced. The way the game is designed gives you so many diverse ways to play the game, and no two encounters really feel the same. I lied, there is one way you always need to play, and you always need to play with your team. And although there isn't really any meta formed from what I've seen yet, trying to go alone in this game is not really viable. Solo queuing in this game is a bit of a nightmare, as well as duo queuing, but to a lesser extent. There is team voice chat in the game, but it seems like most players are unaware that it exists. Like, during the entirety of the beta, I only managed to find one other person who talked back. But like, yeah, when I play this game alone, I typically just get rinsed. And that's just because it's very difficult to play this game as a team. And I've never seen anyone actually use the other pings in the game apart from just go to this direction, and then everyone just kind of goes and does their own thing. That being said though, when I play this game with a friend or two, this is like some of the most fun I've had in a first-person shooter in a long while.
Taking cover. Are you good?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm healed.
Right. Shh. Oh no, what the fuck is
Coming,
going
I'm
on?
coming.
Oh man, this is wild as fuck. I think we're good. It's really good to see this game improve as well in like the short 3 months since the last beta. The UI is a lot cleaner, the weapon unlock system is so much better, being able to unlock the stuff that you want to unlock in the order that you want is such a quality of life improvement. It seems like the developers have added actual announcers in the game, and they actually give you information that can help. For example, like they tell you if a team has been wiped or there's one player left on a team, and that's actually really helpful information. It actually gives you a reason for the announcers to be there. I'm hoping that they continue to improve on them as well. I'm interested to see what they come up with. I've got to say, the biggest improvement overall is the changes to the quick play mode. For context, in the first beta there were 4 teams of 3 players each. They would fight over 2 objectives, so there would be 2 cash boxes on the map and then 2 different cash outs. The idea behind that would be that there would be 2 teams fighting over 1 objective on either side of the map, but generally that wouldn't happen. And what would normally happen is like 3 teams would probably fight over 1 objective, and then the other team would just be left sitting there alone, just like gaining 3 points. So in quick play this has been changed now to 3 teams fighting over 1 objective, and this this feels so much better. This really helps focus the game and kind of narrow the action down into one point, which I really like, and also gives a wild card element to the game. Let's say one team is trying to cash out in the game. My team obviously wants to go steal it. Do we attack straight on, or do we wait for the third team to go and attack and just capitalize on the chaos? Most of the time, it is just 3 teams going at it, and it is absolutely chaotic fun. And being able to communicate all the things going on, and it is pretty chaotic, you can barely do over voice chat anyway. So the ping system is a bit lackluster at the moment, so you can't really communicate anything that's going on at the speed that things go on. The 4-team mode still exists from the first beta, but it's been moved to the tournament and ranked game modes where I feel like it's better suited. I wouldn't say the 4-team mode is bad, but the game comes with like different parameters and different ways to play, and it feels better for the competitive environment for the people who already know the game and have already learned how to play it. But for quick play, having the game more simple to play and understand feels a lot better, especially for people coming in, teaching them how to play. Although one thing I'd like to see changed in the quick play mode, and this is just me maybe, but I would actually like an incentive to go for the cash box at the beginning of the game. There's no current incentive to actually get the cash box and deliver it first. Currently you don't get any points for doing so, and the only reward for getting the cash box would be to be able to set up defensively first. I think the problem with that is that there isn't really a strong advantage to defending first, and maybe that might change when there's like people get more of a hang of the game, but you're 3 people defending the objective from essentially 6 people, and granted some of them can kill each other, but you only really get points if the cash out finishes and you've still got control of it. I don't know if you should be rewarded via points for being able to get the cash box to the cash out, or maybe just a defender's bonus via better spawns if your team gets wiped, for example. Anyway, I'm just spitballing. Quick play has changed very monumentally since the last beta, so I'm sure the devs are going to take a look at it and tweak it a bit anyway. Speaking of spawns, I think I'd like to see spawns fixed up a bit more, especially the first spawn in quick play. It always feels like one team is noticeably closer to the first objective, and I think it would be a lot better if it was an equal distance, so all 3 teams are getting there at the same time. It kind of feels like one team gets there first, and then the other 2 teams always fight each other before then and kill each other. I'm just nitpicking, and it is beta, and I'm sure they're working on it. Another addition to quick play that I like is the ability to change your loadout while you're dead, which wasn't a feature in the first beta. Being able to swap out from your reserve is a much needed quality of life fix as well, I think. Obviously that feature is still not in the tournament mode, I don't think, or the ranked mode, and I think that's more due to the strategic setups for the game, and that's completely fine, I think. I didn't really test the tournament mode that much, mostly because the queue times were a bit much and my friends just weren't really up for it. All in all, I'm actually very excited to keep playing this game, and hopefully there's a few more betas down the road, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there will be Australian servers for this game. The game is surprisingly playable with my latency, but I'd very much really like to play this game as it's intended to be played. Because even though it is playable, you still feel it. So some things I'd like to see moving forward. The game comes closer to full release. I would like to see more maps and also more variations on the current map as well. The weather effects are fun, but they don't give as much variety, I feel like. But yeah, I'd like to see more variations. Like Seoul has 2 variations, I think, on the map. One with the construction site in the middle and one without. And Monaco has maybe 3 variations. I don't know, they feel okay, but with the exception of the one with the big hanging boxes, it doesn't feel like it changes the map quite enough. One other thing I noticed when playing, especially while playing solo, or actually just in the quick play mode in general, the game would often load in with uneven teams, like one person missing on a team, or just a complete team missing. And I imagine that's maybe due to crashes, or like, you know, someone in your pre-made crashes, you don't want to enter the game without them. Currently there's no way to rejoin your team in a game if your game crashes, but you can get auto-filled into games when you queue up. There's been a couple of times that I've auto-queued into a game that was pretty much over. One time I auto-queued into a game, I got auto-filled into a game onto a team by myself in a game halfway through, and that did not feel great. Currently the quick play, and I'm not sure if this is just because of the beta, the quick play just has people leaving if they're getting trashed, and there's not much you can really do about that. Like, you can put punishments in, but it being a beta at the moment, it's kind of bad to put punishments in when it could just be the game crashing, or any number of reasons really. Maybe in the future it would be a good idea to implement a way to rejoin a game just so it doesn't feel like you're leaving a team high and dry. And I'm not sure how they would do it, but a way to, you know, obviously discourage people from leaving a game midway through. And obviously a way to stop games from starting with uneven teams, which happens. I'd like to see some more weapons, some extra gadgets and stuff implemented, but like the ones we have now are pretty good. And honestly, the game feels so varied just with all the stuff that we have at the moment. I'd like to see maybe text chat implemented. I know that could be a bit of a red flag because they're just very toxic by nature. Needing more ways to communicate is a must in this game. Whether that's just enabling voice chat by default, which is also a big red flag because people still don't know how to use their microphones correctly. They have them too loud or too quiet, or they just have constant transmission on, and you can always hear music or domestic happening in the background. The game really does rely on communication above all, and going it alone really feels bad. But honestly, apart from some balancing tweaks, this game feels currently very good. And there isn't really anything I can critique that can't be fixed via more betas and just a little bit of extra time. The core game itself is very, very good. Maybe some extra game modes, some different game modes, but I wouldn't want another game mode if it was just something like slapped together. Like, it would need to be something like the current quick play mode where it focuses all the action into one area and lets the destruction physics and the chaotic nature of the game still be the focus. Obviously, this game's going to be free to play, so the monetization system, I don't know what the return on the investment kind of is. Like, I don't know how much, say, $10 will buy you in the actual game yet. That being said, it looks like it's not going to be pay to win, which will be nice. It looks like you unlock everything gameplay-wise just by playing, which is very good, and it doesn't look like there's any boosts or ways to do that quicker. For now. But with free-to-play games, I do like to give a warning if it seems like it's going to be bad or not. I think that's all I've got to say for the moment. Moving on to XDefiant. This game was only up for a couple of days, so I didn't get too much time to play. Coming in, I didn't really have any expectations though, but I found myself enjoying what I played. XDefiant is a very easy to pick up and go with. If I had to describe what this game is, it's like 80% Call of Duty and 20% Overwatch. It has the loadout management, time to kill, and most of the game modes from Call of Duty mixed with class abilities from Overwatch. One thing I like about this game is that the classes aren't bound to a certain weapon type, giving a lot more freedom and customization just to start off with. But I do note that the loadouts do feel a little bare bones at the moment. It is just a primary, a secondary, and a grenade for the moment. And I'm not sure if it would be like a balancing nightmare, just like maybe throw a perk or something in there. Maybe just mix it up a little bit more. Now, the weapon balance feels very off at the moment. During the beta, I found that people were only really using a few of the mini games available. And I'd say that's easily because they were the strongest with the quickest time to kill. Things like the ACR, the AK-47, MP7, P90, MK20, and the TAC-50 Sniper were the only guns I really saw. Anyone else who was using another gun was usually at the bottom of the leaderboard. Those guns probably only make up about a quarter of the gun roster. When the time to kill is so low on an FPS like this, the most popular weapon is always going to be the combination of damage and accuracy. I found myself using the ACR for most of the beta. I found I could take on any encounter with that gun, and most of the time I would just come out on top. What I did see a lot of variety of though, were the classes. I honestly think that almost every class in the game is viable to play in almost any match. And granted, some will be stronger in some game modes than others. The Firebomb class is very good on domination, capture maps, and the Shield Wall is really good on the push map. But most of the time I found all the classes are probably viable in almost every match, which is really good. And the class ultimates also feel very balanced, and none of them are guaranteed game changers, but in the right hands, used at the right time, could be that thing that pushes you over the edge for a win. Now, some people might think that the window of ultimates is probably a little low. If you don't use your ultimate at the right time, it will feel wasted. It is very easy to waste your ultimate, and that could be either good or bad, but you know, it does feel bad when you work up most of the game to use an ulti and it just you die barely using it. Now, gunplay feels generally good in the game, with the exception of some instances where I died around walls. I'm not 100% sure if the game has dedicated servers or if it's peer-to-peer. Some games it felt like it takes half a clip to kill a person, while other times it feels like it's only 5 bullets. I couldn't find anywhere that stated if it was or wasn't, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. Mostly because there were a few more glaring issues that were ruining the experience. The biggest one of those I felt was the respawning in this game is really, really bad. More often than not, I found myself spawning in the immediate range of enemies, dying again within 5 to 10 seconds of like respawning. The way it seems to work is that the game will respawn you within like a medium to short range of an objective, but it doesn't check if they're going to be spawning enemies in the same area as you. So a couple of times I would be heading for an objective, I would kill someone, and then they'll spawn around the next corner from where I killed them. And either I would kill them again or they would kill me. But nobody really wins in that situation, really. Like, I mean, I guess me if I get the double kill. But the thing is, you don't want to be fighting the same person over and over again trying to get to an objective. You want to be fighting multiple different people and feel like you're progressing to the objective. Which is weird, because you feel like if you kill an enemy, they should be spawning on, you know, the other side of the objective. It's really weird. I don't like how it is at the moment. Next up, the games at the moment feel extremely crowded. 6v6 just seems like a bit too much for all the game modes in this game. A lot of the time in encounters in this game, I feel like I shoot someone and then there's a person right behind them that trade kills with me almost every time. Maybe there's like boomer talk. like maybe I'm getting old and I just can't handle more than one person coming at me at one time. The 6v6 game mode does feel way too crowded in most game modes, with the exception being of the push game mode, which I feel like is the most balanced game mode in the game, which is the standard Overwatch cart push. I say Overwatch, but TF2 did it first, I think. And that game mode does feel the most balanced in the game. And speaking of balance, there's currently no skill-based matchmaking in the game, which depending on how you believe shooters should be balanced is a really good or really bad thing. Personally, if I'm playing quick play modes, I don't want every game to be a very close struggle, where I need to be playing my absolute best every time. This is where I might lose some people. Playing my absolute best in every game is extremely draining. Sometimes you just want to turn your brain off and chat with friends while shooting the shit. And if I want to try hard, that's what ranked modes are for, especially in more arena/arcade style shooters as this one. So let's move on to the maps in the game. They're all varied in style, but they all feel very stale in design. All of the maps in the game are either typical 3-lane maps, or they're the circular flow arena style map. There's really nothing here that I haven't already seen before, which is a little bit disappointing. Alright, and that's all I have to say for XDefiant for now. So, do these games have what it takes to break into the market? Both are solid and fun games, but only one of these games feels fresh and exciting, while the other feels like it's playing it safe. The Finals feels way more fun to play, but currently it feels like it needs a bit more content in the game. It is not ready yet, the foundations are very solid. XDefiant feels like it could launch today if it really wanted, but honestly the game just doesn't do enough differently. The game in its current form is way too derivative, and everything it doesn't do better than any other game. Here's the thing though, there is currently a lot more hype for XDefiant than the Finals. Although XDefiant currently has more of a marketing push at the moment, it's probably closer to launch than the Finals is. One thing I note, there has been no word if XDefiant is coming to Steam as well on PC, which, let's be honest, is a really bad idea. Nobody likes using the Ubisoft launcher, either of the ones that they've made, and that alone is a really huge turn off for PC players. I reckon about half of my friends probably won't play this game because of that. The Finals, on the other hand, will be coming to Steam free to play, and with a good marketing push, I'm predicting an open beta or a launch trailer at the Game Awards or something would get a huge influx of launch players. And honestly, I think both games will have big launches, but the trick is to keep player retention. Ubisoft have managed to do player retention before with Rainbow Six Siege, but that game was doing something new. It managed to cater to a new set of players. XDefiant doesn't do that. It is going for Call of Duty, and they will need to find a way not to hemorrhage players to Call of Duty in every new Call of Duty release, or the next game that'll try and do the same thing. I think if the Finals wants to keep player retention, they will need to work on more game modes, maps, and modifiers to keep the game fresh. If I had to say if any of these games have the potential to be mainstays in the FPS genre, I'd like to say it'd be the Finals, but I think XDefiant just has more broad appeal. But the fact that the Finals is doing something a little new, it might give it that lasting power, similar to what Rainbow Six Siege did not too long ago. But we might just have to wait and see. Alright, that's the end of the review. I'm going to leave you with some gameplay of the Finals and XDefiant, and I will catch you in the next one.
Run in, I can see you, love. Can I get up here? Oh, they're dead, they're dead. Might be another one.
Push that, dickheads.
Oh, that did as well. Oh, what? You stole my kill, bro? The fuck? Did you just suicide drone them?
The fucking battle eye pop-up looks like a goddamn error.
Yeah, I know, I got the same thing. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh no, battle I just want all my fucking details.
Yeah.
We passed the checkpoint.
Well, I got it to the checkpoint.
Yeah, like everyone, all the enemies are behind us, man. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
I
is
know,
going
yeah,
on?
yeah.
Oh!
Accompany the package. Keep it moving.
Oh. Oh, we fucking
Let's
demolished
go.
them.
Mission
Eyes
accomplished.
out,
What the
robot.
fuck? He's doing the walking, man. What the
He's
fuck?
hitting the gritty. Why is that robot hitting the gritty? What the fuck?
Hey!
Cooper Beck is a bit of a man.
Ah, shit, 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 shit. No!
They're all there, Troll. I couldn't do nothing.
I had to reload everything. It was bad. Oh, I'm so fucking dead.
I got the shot. I think I healed you, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I died pretty quick still. Oh!
Cooper,
What the
whatever
fuck?
his name is.
Troll just got killed in the spot.
I
know.
literally spawned, got one hit, and I don't know what the fuck it was.
I watched him, but he put a water.
Stop fucking throwing grenades at me, please.
I'm shot in the back. Fuck.
No. Thank fuck there's no spectating. Oh, there's another guy with a Winston Dome. Oh! What the fuck was that? It was like a fucking...
He's got like a Tesla cannon if you go into his dome.
Oh, I was like, oh, I'll just rush this guy and fucking murder him. No.
No.
One hit.
You gotta stay out of the dome, bro.
Alright, let's go.
It's ooga boogie boogie.
No! Oh,
That would have been funny. Oh, never mind. Happened to Maddie. Oh, you'll revive things over there. No, you're fucking gone, man. Sorry.
Ability. Our contestants are looking for a midnight
Ooh,
snack.
don't jump out the window.
The usual stationary defense tactics may not be an option for contestants in this match.
What the fuck is happening? No! Oh my god.
I cannot deal with everything that's going on right now. This is a mess.
The last contestant for the Madness is
Ah!
Tagged him. Nice.
Go for it.
Got one coming in.
I was able to steal that through a wall. I'm fucking stuck.
off a cash out.
They just upped the ante.
No, I can't fucking...
Got him.
Oh.
Other side. Behind somehow? Oh, that's rude.
Oh my god.
Oh, but it overheats.
Scotty. The
It's alright, your turn, your turn.
And by that I mean we have our first
Can I shoot through
elimination.
that?
Yeah.
Looks like a team wiped out for the live wires.
Alright, change. Oh, I've got to reload. Fuck.
Oh, I'm getting wrecked.
Look at the big splash. One deserves.
Where's Alfredo?
I don't know. We were kind of rocking
Yeah.
it though for the
Yeah.
whole time.
That's wild.
Oh, behind this door here. Oh my god, this is insane. Same, what the fuck? Wait, where the fuck is the thing going? Oh shit.
Got one.
There should only be one left. Oh, actually, there's two.
There's only one left, but he's fucking me up.
There's two.
Oh shit. I'm down. There's a guy on the, like, what's the name behind you? Building. Just try and get cover. Nice. That's my turret.
Still standing. They'll need to proceed with caution.
Thank you.
Misfortune for the Betas. Team wiped.
Guys over that way.
That's right, June. The live wires did
Yeah,
not
for the
cash
moment.
out. Great steal.
Fortune favors the bold.
Above. Yeah.
Oh, shh. Oh, guy on the train. Oh, he's down.
Yep.
Oh, the Boundless are in trouble.
Another one on the train.
Daddy, behind you. I'm healing you, bro.
Boundless will need to reboot. Team wiped.
That's right. I guess they have limits after all.
Huh. Nice.
Yeah.